If you've ever opened the internet and seen Americans arguing with literally the entire planet over one word, congratulations! You've witnessed one of humanity's oldest and dumbest debates. Because according to America, this sport is called soccer. And according to pretty much everyone else, it's football. England, Brazil, Argentina, even India call it football. Even countries that don't agree on anything somehow looked at this sport and said, yeah, that's football. Then America showed up and said, nah. So who's actually right? And more importantly, why does this argument even exist? Because the answer is way weirder than most people think. The obvious argument. Let's start with the thing everybody says. People outside America love pointing at a football match and saying, look, they're genuinely kicking the ball with their feet. Obviously it's football. Fair point. Then they look at American football and ask, so why are those guys carrying the ball with their hands 95% of the time? Also a fair point. If an alien landed on Earth tomorrow, watched both sports, and had to guess which one was called football, he's probably choosing the one where people genuinely kick the ball. Not the one where 300-pound men are treating each other like crash test dummies. No offense, NFL fans. Actually, a little offense. The twist nobody expects. Here's where things get interesting. America actually didn't invent the word soccer. England did. Yeah, the same England that spends all day making fun of Americans for saying soccer. Back in the 1800s, there were lots of different versions of football. One was rugby football, another was association football, and British students had a ball-itching habit of shortening words. So they did. Rugby became rugger, association became assoc, then eventually, soccer. So the word soccer was born in England, which means every time an English fan says, only Americans call it soccer, a historian somewhere sheds a single tear. Why America kept the name. So if England invented the word, why doesn't England use it anymore? Because football became overwhelmingly popular there. There was no confusion. If someone said football, everybody knew exactly what sport they meant. America had a different problem. American football exploded in popularity. Now there were two sports competing for the same name, so Americans kept using soccer to avoid confusion. And honestly, that makes sense. Imagine an American saying, I'm going to watch football tonight. His friend would have absolutely no clue whether he's talking about the NFL or the World Cup. Meanwhile, in Brazil, there's no confusion. Football means football. The end. Now, which sport is bigger? Because this part isn't even close. Football, soccer if you're American, has around 4 billion fans worldwide. That's over half the planet. The World Cup is one of the most watched events on Earth. Entire countries basically stop functioning when their national team plays. Meanwhile, American football is huge. Only in America. The NFL is incredibly successful. It's just not as global. So when people online act shocked that Americans say soccer, remember that most of the world rarely even thinks about American football. Why the argument never ends. The reason this debate survives isn't because people actually care about the word. It's because sports fans love arguing. That's it. If tomorrow everyone agreed to call it football, sports fans would immediately find something else to fight about. Messi or Ronaldo, best World Cup ever, greatest goal ever scored, is Mr. Beast is Illuminati. Humanity would continue exactly as normal. The football versus soccer debate is basically comfort food for the internet. Nobody wins. Nobody changes their mind. Everybody keeps arguing. So what's the correct name? Technically, both. Football makes sense. Soccer also has historical reasons behind it. And the funniest part? The country that complains most about the word soccer is the country that invented it. So next time somebody says, it's called football, not soccer, you can hit them with, actually, England invented the word soccer, and then immediately run away before the comment section catches fire. If you're new to football, or soccer, because of the World Cup, stick around. Because next time we're tackling another question that confuses millions of new fans. How does the World Cup actually work? Trust me. The group stage, points, and knockout rounds confuse people way more than the name ever will. So subscribe right now.